Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live. I'm Amritpal Singh. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi gets a festive send-off from Kuala Lumpur after a successful two-day visit where he strengthened ties in talks with his Malaysian counterpart Anwar Ibrahim. Indian and Malaysia exchange 11 pacts, agree to elevate ties in defence, security, semiconductors, digital economy, trade, manufacturing and tourism, among others. Iran defies US warning to insist on right to enrich uranium, says will not give up enrichment, but ready for confidence building. And Japan's Prime Minister Takaichi on track for a big majority in snap elections. Thailand vote counting underway. Prime Minister Narendra Modi departed from Kuala Lumpur airport on Sunday after concluding his two-day official visit, during which a series of initiatives were unveiled to deepen cooperation across defence and security, semiconductors and trade. The visit saw Prime Minister Modi hold wide-ranging discussions with Malaysian counterpart Anwar Ibrahim, aimed at strengthening the bilateral partnership across strategic, economic and people-centric domains. The visit took place at the invitation of Prime Minister Ibrahim. India and Malaysia established diplomatic relations in 1957, which were elevated to comprehensive strategic partnership in August 2024. Prime Minister Modi is expected to arrive in New Delhi in a short while from now. And against the backdrop of a changing Indo-Pacific and rising global security challenges, India and Malaysia are charting a stronger strategic partnership, from defence and digital finance to culture and people-to-people ties. Prime Minister Modi's landmark visit to Kuala Lumpur marks a decisive push to elevate India-Malaysia relations to the next level.
At a time of global uncertainty and regional churn, India and Malaysia are sending a clear message of unity, strategic trust, and zero tolerance for terrorism. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Kuala Lumpur signals a decisive push to deepen bilateral ties. On day 2, PM Modi, along with his Malaysian counterpart, held wide-ranging discussions focusing on intelligence sharing and maritime security. Several memorandums of understanding were signed covering digital payments, technology exchange, education, scientific research, skill development and cultural cooperation, aimed at giving fresh momentum to bilateral engagement. Let's take a look at the outcomes of this visit. Cooperation on social security, cooperation on combating and preventing corruption, cooperation on disaster management, MOU on United Nations peacekeeping cooperation, exchange of notes on cooperation in semiconductor industry, cooperation on security, health and medicine, technical and vocational education and training, 10th India-Malaysia CEOs Forum, framework agreement on International Big Cats Alliance, establishment of a consulate in Malaysia, establishment of a Tiruvalluvar Center, institution of Tiruvalluvar scholarships, agreement between NPCI International Payments Limited and PayNet of Malaysia, cooperation between University of Cyberjaya and ITRA Jamnagar.
सिक्योरिटी के क्षेत्र में हम काउंटर टेररिज्म, इंटेलिजेंस शेयरिंग और मैरीटाइम सिक्योरिटी में सहयोग मजबूत करेंगे। हम रक्षा सहयोग को भी और व्यापक बनाएंगे।
A major highlight was the announcement that India's unified payments interface is now operational in Malaysia and opening of the first Indian consulate in Malaysia to boost people-to-people ties. Both leaders reaffirmed a zero-tolerance approach to terrorism, with PM Modi stating that India's message is clear: no double standards, no compromise.
वैश्विक अस्थिरता के इस माहौल में भारत और मलेशिया की बढ़ती मित्रता दोनों देशों के लिए अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है। हमारा साझा मत है कि आज के चैलेंजेस का समाधान करने के लिए ग्लोबल इंस्टीट्यूशंस का रिफॉर्म बहुत जरूरी है। हम शांति के सभी प्रयासों का समर्थन करते रहेंगे और आतंकवाद पर हमारा संदेश स्पष्ट है: नो डबल स्टैंडर्ड्स, नो कॉम्प्रोमाइज।
Malaysian Prime Minister lauded PM Modi's peace efforts on the global front and said that exchanges with PM Modi are not diplomatic, rather exchanges between friends. He added that India is growing by leaps and bounds. Malaysia wants to increase its trade with India.
India is growing by leaps and bounds. It's one spectacular rise in the international economic and trade scene, and therefore Malaysia, in the ASEAN context, would certainly benefit immensely if we could secure.
PM Modi also stressed on the importance of Indo-Pacific and reiterated India's commitment to peace and stability in the region. As the visit concludes, both sides express confidence that the agreements and initiatives announced will translate into real benefits for citizens, taking India-Malaysia relations to a higher strategic orbit. With Meghna Dev in Malaysia, Bureau Report, DD India.
And Prime Minister Modi also interacted with leading industry leaders from Malaysia in Putrajaya. Prime Minister met the founder and CEO of Phison Electronics Corporation, Phua Khen Seng, in Malaysia. Phison Electronics Corporation is a Taiwanese public electronics company that primarily designs, manufactures and sells controllers for NAND flash memory chips.
Very good discussion with the Prime Minister Modi, and to me it's a big impressive that he has a very big ambitions to build the semiconductor industry in India. And what we try to deliver to Prime Minister, we are not just going there to build factory, no. We like to transfer our technology, try to help train the talent in the local India to design the silicon, the firmware, software, and also the AI solutions. So maybe after a few more years, India will have your own ecosystem, own cluster owned by the India company, become your local India technology. Design, then produce India. This can really build the real technology owned by the Indian company.
And Malaysia's state-owned energy major Petronas is looking to deepen engagement with India. Petronas President and Group CEO Tengku Muhammad Taufik met Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Malaysia with discussions centered on energy cooperation, hydrocarbons, clean energy and long-term partnerships. The meeting highlighted India's growing energy needs and opportunities for collaboration across the oil and gas value chain as New Delhi pushes for energy security, diversification and transition towards a cleaner, sustainable energy future. Shifting focus to Iran now. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has said that there was no other option but to negotiate, referring to the nuclear talks with the United States. His comments made in Tehran came a day after he said Iran will strike U.S. bases in West Asia if it is attacked by U.S. forces that have amassed a huge number of soldiers in the region, while Araghchi said no date had yet been set for the next round of negotiations. Trump said they could take place early next week. Araghchi also declared that his country was not intimidated by the U.S. naval deployment in the Gulf.
The Islamic Republic of Iran has paid a very heavy price for its peaceful nuclear program and for uranium enrichment. Why do we insist so much on enrichment and refuse to give it up, even if a war is imposed on us? Because no one has the right to dictate our behavior. If Iran insists on enrichment, it is because it refuses all domination.
Trump has threatened to strike Iran after a U.S. naval buildup in the region, demanding that it renounce uranium enrichment, a possible pathway to nuclear bombs, as well as stopping ballistic missile development and support for armed groups around the region. Tehran has long denied any intent to weaponize nuclear fuel production. U.S. President Donald Trump and Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu are set to meet in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday to discuss negotiations with Iran. In a statement, Benjamin Netanyahu's office said that he believes that any negotiations must include limitations on ballistic missiles and halting of the support for Iranian access. Wednesday's meeting will mark the sixth between the two leaders since Trump took office a year ago. The U.S. and Israel have repeatedly warned Iran that they would strike again if Tehran pressed ahead with its enrichment and ballistic missile program. Iran and the U.S. held negotiations in Oman on Friday, and Trump later said that the talks would resume early next week. Japan's ruling party is set to regain a majority in the snap lower house polls. Media projections showed in what would be a big victory for the country's first female Prime Minister, Takaichi Senai. Polls opened in Japan on Sunday. Takaichi, who became Prime Minister in October last year after being selected LDP leader, called the rare winter election in an attempt to capitalize on her personal popularity.
In this election, various parties are putting forward policies such as abolishing the consumption tax. That may sound good right now, but I am very concerned about whether it is truly a responsible policy for the generations that come after us. What worries me most is not just the present, but what will happen to Japan in the future.
In parts of Japan, the voter turnout remained relatively low due to heavy snowfall causing transport disruptions. And vote counting is underway in Thailand after polls closed the country's general election on Sunday, with the contest shaping up as a close three-way race with no outright winner expected, raising the likelihood of a protracted coalition negotiations. The Progressive People's Party is widely seen as leading the race and on track to emerge as the single largest party. However, its reformist agenda is not shared by its main rivals, fueling the prospect that it could once again be sidelined through a post-election alliance aimed at keeping it out of power. The People's Party is the successor to the Move Forward Party, which won most seats in 2023 election, but was blocked from forming a government by the conservative lawmakers before being dissolved by the Constitutional Court. In Bangladesh, the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, or the BNP, on Saturday alleged a coordinated plan to manipulate the upcoming election, accusing a political party of preparing large numbers of burqas and niqabs to facilitate fraudulent voting. Speaking at a press conference in Dhaka, BNP Election Steering Committee spokesperson Mahdi Amin said the alleged scheme was part of a broader election engineering, citing a recent Lakshmipur incident where illegal voting seals were reportedly manufactured on instructions of a Jamaat-e-Islami leader. He said preliminary investigations uncovered WhatsApp order details and materials linking the operation to a candidate. Let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. The sixth edition of the International Saharan Cultures Festival opened in the eastern Chaldean city of Amjaras, featuring dances, songs and traditional dress from dozens of ethno-linguistic groups from Chad and across the Sahara, with Niger as the guest of honor. Thousands of colourful kites were flown over Lahore as Basant, Pakistan's biggest kite flying festival, returned after almost 2 decades. Families flocked to rooftops across the city, flying kites while enjoying food and music during the 3-day celebration. Cases of black fever have surged in Kenya's arid region, raising concerns among health officials. The disease is transmitted by infected female sandfiles, which bite an individual and thereafter lead to chronic manifestations of symptoms. Patients mainly present themselves with fevers that do not go away for a period of 2 weeks or more. And still to come up on this edition of DD India Live, President of Seychelles, Dr. Patrick Hermini, arrives in New Delhi after productive engagements in Chennai and Mumbai. India unleashes AI from labs to farmlands. Bharat Vistar set to power smarter agricultural revolution.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. It fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout ho gaya.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
You're watching DD India Live. I'm Amritpal Singh. The President of Seychelles, Dr. Patrick Hermini, who's on a 5-day visit to India, arrived in New Delhi on Sunday. Upon his arrival, President Hermini was warmly received by Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare, Anupriya Patel, at the airport and was accorded a ceremonial welcome. President Hermini will meet President Draupadi Murmu and hold discussions with Prime Minister Modi on bilateral, regional and international issues of mutual interest. The visit of Seychelles President coincides with the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic ties between the two countries. Earlier, Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis called on the visiting Seychelles President in Mumbai on Sunday. Seychelles Minister for Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, Berry Foray, and the Minister of Finance, Economic Planning, Trade and Investment, Pierre Laporte, were also present during the meeting. During a media interview to one of India's leading news agencies, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal talked about Prime Minister Modi's focused vision of opening avenues for growth in business with developed nations in order to establish mutually beneficial trade relations.
As I said, Prime Minister Modi is very focused. If India has to become a developed country, we have to work with other developed countries in the world. And therefore, his focus has been on expanding trade relations, opening avenues for growth and business with other developed countries, not developing countries. And developed countries naturally are unable to compete on our areas of interest, and they have things to offer which really we need. So it's a win-win for both.
India is stepping into a new era of artificial intelligence, not just in technology hubs, but right down to the farmlands. As New Delhi gears up to host the world's largest AI Impact Summit, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has unveiled a groundbreaking initiative in the Union Budget 26-27, Bharat Vistar. The AI-powered tool promises to transform agriculture, empower farmers with data-driven decisions and smarter access to resources. DD India's Rahul Upadhyay brings us more.
New Delhi will host the India AI Impact Summit from February 16 to 20, 2026, expected to be the largest among the 4 global AI summits held so far. With over 35,000 registrations already received and participation anticipated from more than 100 countries, the summit aims to reflect growing global momentum around responsible, inclusive and impact-driven artificial intelligence. The summit will focus not just on vision, but on real-world execution and outcomes that directly benefit people. With agriculture emerging as a key priority for India, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in the Union Budget 2026-27 announced the launch of Bharat Vistar, a multilingual AI-powered agricultural platform designed to transform how farmers access information, services and markets.
I propose to launch Bharat Vistar, a multilingual AI tool that shall integrate the AgriStack portals and the ICAR package on agricultural practices with AI systems. This will enhance farm productivity, enable better decisions for farmers, and reduce risk by providing customized advisory support.
Bharat Vistar, or virtually integrated system to access agricultural resources, will be a multilingual AI tool that will integrate the AgriStock portals and the ICAR package on agricultural practices with AI systems. Vistar is an open, interoperable and federated public network dedicated to agricultural information and advisory services. A decentralized repository, it will facilitate the discovery and fulfillment of verified agricultural content, best practices, and agri-skilling across diverse private and public provider platforms, enhancing farm productivity through data-driven and timely interventions, improving farmer decision-making at every stage, input crop production market by providing accurate, localized insights, best practices and data services, reducing market risks via customized crop and region-specific advisory support, supporting government in real-time monitoring, improved delivery of agriculture extension services and targeted intervention. Artificial intelligence is transforming Indian agriculture through precision-driven farming techniques, AI-powered crop monitoring using drones and satellite imagery, smart irrigation systems, and advanced pest and disease detection tools are helping farmers reduce losses while improving productivity.
From global leadership in AI to transformation in agriculture sector at the grassroots level, India is using technology for its inclusive growth and rural development. With camera person Rajkumar, this is Rahul Upadhyay reporting from New Delhi for DD India.
And now some sports news. New Zealand made light work of a challenging target to beat Afghanistan by 5 wickets in the 2020 World Cup 2026 Group D opener in Chennai. Gulabdin Naib's fiery 63-run knock parred Afghanistan to a formidable score of 182 for 6 in 20 overs. New Zealand were rocked early on as spinner Mujibur Rahman picked up 2 wickets in the second over of the chase. However, Tim Seifert, who scored a half-century, and Glenn Phillips, who smashed a handy 42, stabilized the Kiwi ship. India's junior shooters continue to dominate the Asian Rifle and Pistol Shooting Championships at the Karni Singh Shooting Range in New Delhi. On the sidelines of the event, shooting coach Dikshant Jadhav and India's promising junior shooter Shambhavi Sagar, who won 3 gold medals, spoke to DD India correspondent Narayan Singh and shared their views on the progress of Indian shooting.
Indian shooters are dominating the Asian Rifle Pistol Shooting Championship in youth, junior and as well as senior category, and we can say that a wonderful performance and dominating performance by our shooters. And right now I am joined by the rifle coach and the wonderful young shooter Shambhavi, who has won 3 gold medals in this tournament. And sir, first coming to you, a wonderful performance by the Indian shooters here, means dominating the competition, we can say that by a big margin. So overall, how you look the performance of the Indian shooter here?
Definitely, Indian shooters is a fantastic shoot, and we are working for the youth athlete, junior athlete, or also senior athlete. So definitely, is a challenging work. Or we do the same platform for international athletes, upcoming the Asian Championship, upcoming for the youth World Championship, World Cup.
Definitely. Also, Sambhavi joining us. Sambhavi, you have been exceptional in the junior category, winning medals in Germany, in Kazakhstan, as well as 3 gold medals here. So, you know that soon you will be there in the senior category too. So, how are you looking this transition from the junior to senior category? Is there any pressure, or you are confident that there also you will translate this junior performance at the senior level? Tell something about it.
I'm pretty much confident in juniors, but I'm not that confident in seniors. So, I mean, I have to try and get better in juniors as well, because every athlete makes mistakes, and I'm currently practicing on my mistakes and on my match pressure. So in junior, I will be pretty much confident, and then I'll step into seniors.
Sir, overall, if you take a look at the performance of the Indian shooter, they are doing exceptionally well in the mega event like Olympics, Asian Games, and as well as World Championship. So, what are the basic reasons you find behind this stupendous success of these bunch of the Indian shooters in international events?
Basically, depend on the infrastructure, your infrastructure, government support, government schemes, all the support for the Sports Authority of India, all support for the National Rifle Association. So, depend on your governments and your infrastructure. That's why slowly up the scoring boards and medal tally, all equipments, ammunition, upgrading for the equipment testing, the mainly thing.
So everything we can see here, that's a wonderful support of the government, as well as from the shooters to our young shooters are leaving no stone unturned. They are doing hard work, they are getting support from the government, and that's why Indian shooting is on an upward trajectory. It's camera person Sumit, Narayan Singh, DD India, Delhi.
And that's all in this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. The app is available both on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on your screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Amrit Pal Singh from my entire team here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live. Thank you. Bye-bye.